That's going to be the matchup, Hutto, and we can't wait to see how that pans out.
Well, you don't have to wait, Kingy, because the ball is about to be bounced here at the MCG. Easter Saturday footy. We've got champions in our box. Jason Dunstall will be joined by Dermott and David King. And now the champions of today are out there underway, and it's Cunnington, who was brilliant for the North Melbourne last week, who has the first possession, takes them into the 50. Thomas, can he slip and slide his way through? Handball over for Curry, made life a little bit difficult. We know Fasolo's part of the defence now. Beams trying hard. Fasolo does get the clean hands, but look at Goldstein fight back, and Curry has a crack at it. Black, he wasn't so good in the air last week, but was good on the ground. Cunnington, Young, it's just sucked in underneath there, and we'll have a ball up. Frenetic start in that forward 50, Jace.
Yeah, and you'd certainly expect that. Some of those key matchups, Tuvey picking up Lindsay Thomas, that's going to be beautiful. Fasolo's got Lee Adams,
who was very good last week with 29 disposals.
And if he doesn't pay attention, he'll have goals kicked on him.
And that's Bastanak around the corner, and I think he might be Scott Pendlebury's man, so what a start for him.
Well, that's a really exciting start for North Melbourne, in particular because we know that Collingwood get a lot of goals generated from the midfield and off the stoppages. You just watch. Good work by Lindsay Thomas that actually got it out, and Pendlebury, he was defensive side, but he just couldn't get there in time to affect the smother. That's a brilliant finish. Over the head, over the shoulder. Really had to screw it back. So he didn't... Look, Pendlebury didn't do a lot wrong other than the fact that he was more than a metre behind him, I guess. Just got trailed to the ball.
Yeah, brilliant start for Ryan Bastanak, 22 years of age, another of this young band of North Melbourne midfielders that now have the experience under their belt. 83 matches for Bastanak that they need to and are starting to perform on the biggest stage. Pendlebury able to get it out to Lamumba, and here's Travis Cloke versus Scotty Thompson, and the first points go to Thompson. Cloke got himself in good position, but again, it's unfamiliar for all of us, Jason, to see him not be able to go on with it.
Well, he's against the form defender in the competition, is he, in Scotty Thompson? That's going to be a beauty. And I'll tell you what, a big challenge for Cunnington today, because McCaffer has gone to him.
Well, that is an honour, isn't it, to show what he's produced in the last few weeks with consecutive 30 possession games. The short stuff from the Pies. Pendlebury switching across to Lamumba, who's got a bit of a run up, and off the left. Cloke stays down at the back. Jesse White was in the mix. Mullet to Wells, easing out of there. Oh, gee, that was sleight of hand start for Wells. Wasn't expecting the hunt down. It was great stuff from Goldsack. They've played on with the advantage. Dubious as to how much the advantage was.
Yep, not convinced it was the right option to take.
Adams, Grundy and Young have got him sandwiched.
We see it happen a lot. I mean, it was a brilliant rundown, though. Daniel Wells is pretty toey. Have a look at Goldsack. That's what you want from him forwards. That's a terrific effort. Maybe they could have stopped and set something a little better up rather than taking the advantage.
Witts was the third up. He's a fair size for a third up. And that's good digging in deep from Fasolo, who's a defender.
He's a long kick, Hutto, and you just saw a couple of teammates tell him.
He hates a goal too.
Oh, yeah, they told him, hey, go back, have the shot. This is in his range.
He's very shy, but young man, Dermott.
Only had to tell him once.
Who did you select this afternoon, Derm?
I've gone for the Magpies. Cloke rarely has these long spells in this type of form. That's a good hit.
It's a good hit. Has it got enough? It is just across a fraction. And it's a minor, and Collingwood are on the board.
I always felt, Jason, that when you kick from that far out, you hit them sweetly and it just faded at the end. You walked away from that saying, right, I'm on. I didn't get that, but I'm on. I hit it sweet. Now it's just about making that minute alteration.
Great challenge for Ben Cunnington, Derm, with McCaffer picking him up.
Deep inside.
Thompson got it out looking for Goldstein. Adams, as we said, in stellar form in the last few weeks. Thomas tried to have a physical presence on Pendlebury, couldn't stop the Magpie maestro getting it out. Scrambling hard for it was side bottom initially. Blair, Greenwood hacked it out of there. Fasolo tried to scoop it up, he did, and they all went past him. Got it to Tuvey, couldn't bust the tackle. Great start from both sides with the pressure applied. McKenzie can't find a way through there either. Side bottom, this is intense stuff from the Pies. Pendlebury's able to stretch it out wide, and side bottom again, spearing ball, and a good ball into the 50 to Jesse White as we head down to David King.
Just having a look at Brent McCaffer, he looks like he's going to Brent Harvey at the moment. He did spend some time on Ben Cunnington. who is probably in the top 3 or 4 in-form midfielders in the competition. He's in ripping form. There's some of the scalps that Brent McCaffrey's had over the first 4 rounds of football. Trent Cotchin, 12 disposals, was the one we're all talking about this week.
Jesse White, just 1 goal in 3 games against North Melbourne in his career. And that's not going to change with a kick like that. Plenty of tackles laid, boys, so far. 7 by Collingwood, 5 by North. Good pressure.
Well, it's interesting. He started on Cunnington. We just saw Kingy, or heard Kingy telling us about Brent Harvey. Now he's running with Nick Del Santo. I reckon as a tagger, you want to set yourself for one player. It's hard to chop and change all the time.
I think Del started on the bench.
He did.
So maybe that's why.
So he just felt his way until he came on. That's interesting. There's Del Santo there, and McCaffrey straight to him.
Goldstein slapped it down. And it's stuck underneath there. And it's Grundy.
What that does do, Jace, it allows Brent Harvey the Harry O'Brien matchup. Now, that is a risk from a Collingwood point of view. Brent been in great form this season.
Haritia Lumumba.
McKenzie shut down. There's Del Santo. Tried to get, I'm not sure if he actually got a touch to it or not. Clinton Young certainly got a touch to it, but it went out of bounds on the full.
He didn't get there. Just inside the boundary. So he didn't make good contact at all then, Clinton Young.
Oh, now they're able to stretch it across that last line. This is Wells. Bobbing up, Grimer. Had to wait for it just a moment longer than he would have liked. So he's squeezed the kick out a bit, and Pendlebury was onto it, and he's within range. And Pendlebury, we know how smooth he is. We know how classy he is. And he showed it all again at the start of the game. Pies in front.
I reckon Nathan Grimer would be pretty disappointed with that, and Brad Scott would be shaking his head thinking, well, he had all the time in the world. He was slow. He allowed the pressure to come and put a little bit of physical contact on him as he kicked the ball. No real awareness there. And then the kick out, it's just a shocker. I mean, if there's any doubt, you go long up the line. At least give yourself time to reset. But to kick to a contest in the corridor, you get punished by the good sides and the good players. And certainly...
well, he turned him board, and there was no turning back once he's gone in there, and the pressure from Goldsack did the rest.
We've only gone forward once for a goal, North Melbourne, and then it's 6 inside 50s to the Pies.
It's a big margin, obviously. Del Santo up and down on the spot, but he gets his hand on the ball a couple of times, and they're up towards forward 50. Frost had to hang there a lot longer than he would have liked, but he was not going anywhere. Very steadfast. So a positive start by the Magpies, as he used for solo on the way out. The fine side bottom has also begun in strong fashion. Easter Saturday footy from the MCG. Steel side bottom. A low ball up along the 50. Cloak, hard-band to budge. Done it illegally. Advantage. Yes. Paid and taken by Josh Thomas. Into the forward 50. Big wits. Onto the left.
Ugly bounce.
And Goldstein again had to wait a nervous moment or two. He got some help, and boy did he need it. Jesse White was pressing hard on Atley, and I think they've given away a free. Yeah,
Jesse White got to him just after 50 metres on that.
Yeah, I think the 50's a bit.
And well, that's the rule. You hold a bloke from running on to the next disposal.
Was that? Okay,
that was the correct decision.
Sorry,
you'll hear booing, but it's the correct decision.
It came in after the 2008 grand final, that rule, didn't it, with Sam Mitchell and Gary Ablett?
It was in vogue during the 2008 grand final.
Del Santo kicks out to the wing, and the mark taken by Clinton Young, who goes short. So North just a bit raggedy around the edges, Jace.
Yeah, it's not the sort of kick you expect from Del Santo either. He just got a block and shaken the tag of McCaffrey and then turned it over.
And Cloak, he's able to push off and take the mark.
I reckon Scotty Thompson would be really disappointed that he wasn't the man marking Travis Cloak at that particular point in time. It was Michael Frito, and Cloak was too strong. Can he get that good kick early to get his confidence up?
Well, we know all about his season, Travis Cloak. Just the 2 goals, 3. And fades.
Good kick off the legs. Nice. Not a bad kick, that.
Brad Scott said during the week that Travis Cloak saves his best for North Melbourne. He's kicked 12 in their last 5 games against the Roos, so not devastating numbers.
Kingy, they just can't put link possessions together, the Kangaroos at ground level.
We'll come back to it in a moment, Kingy, because Elliott's kick could still create a goal. Touch. Go now, Kingy.
Well, he's out there, Jamie Elliott. He's got some discomfort. He's got a heavy cork in the right thigh. He come from the ground a moment ago, received some treatment. Is certainly showing some signs of discomfort out there.
So the ball with Bastanak. You can see Del Santo still being watched very closely behind. So he comes away. Kick goes to wing. Pendlebury. He's already threatening here in menacing style. And he gets it quickly to Cloak. And Scott Thompson hasn't been anywhere near him, as we said, and that was because of the defensive structure.
He's covering the kicking. He's actually taken the kicking chip short.
Yeah, so not his fault.
He hit the last one well enough to go close here. Probably needs to start it just around the right-hand goal post or just inside.
Normally tough for a left footer, but a bit like Buddy, he can bring the ball back right to left. And now he gets a mark on the line from probably the most informed forward for the Pies, and that's Jesse White.
Gee, they had a few there too, North Melbourne. And I'll be bitterly disappointed they couldn't kill that one, but Jesse White, his last 3 weeks have been very good.
And he rams it through. Collingwood are all over North Melbourne at the moment at the MCG.
So sometimes the matchups get changed when you're involved in a zone defence from a kick out and the like. Have a look at Cloak there at the top of the 50 all on his own.
I don't know what Spud was doing. He was a half metre inside the baseline, wasn't he? He wasn't able to run in and he wasn't able to get back. One thing I say,
Goldstein had to go up there. He just sat and watched.
That's Jesse White. That's arguably the first time I've seen him take a big pack mark in the goal score. Let's have a look at the kicking efficiency. Kangaroos on the way out, because predominantly it's been down there. 8-1 inside 50s, 33%. That's too low to try and stay in the game.
Centre bounce, Goldstein down to Bastanak. He's caught in the crash, but gets it away. Petrie, a physical presence needed by North Melbourne. He supplied it then. Black was all right too. Adams, Frost was at high. It was marginal. The umpire lets it pass, and Collingwood preserving their 10-point lead at the moment. There's lots of players around the ball. Pies have pushed an extra one back to the goal square. A kick behind here. And here's some of their numbers now. Side bottom. Well, he wasn't quite expecting it. Tuvey and Thomas, his direct opponent, makes it sting. Just the panacea for North Melbourne at this stage.
How's the timing of the kick off the ground? He struck that perfectly.
I tell you what did go harder than the kick, and that was the handball.
Yeah, he's seeing something he doesn't like, though, at the moment, Brad Scott. Something that's not right with the North Melbourne structure. This is a goal out of nothing. There's the hand pass that bounced straight off Tuvey, and to kick that off the ground, turned straight into a drop punt virtually. That's perfect. Just flushed it.
Hit it beautifully. Too hard. I mean, you've got to make it as easy as possible for your teammates to receive the ball. And the side bottom hit was just had too much heat on it.
So Lindsay Thomas, who started the season really well, he's kicked 8 goals, 3. A couple of quiet ones, but he's still been managed to convert when it matters for North. There's Curry getting thrust around by the Grundy tackle. Pies getting plenty of numbers back in defence right now. And they might get to move their legs in a moment because the Roos are going forward. You can see here's a couple of the extra numbers. A moment or two for Langdon there. Got it to Lumumba when it mattered, though. And the instant handball was good on the way out. This is Young receiving it along the line. Attlee sweating on it if it happened to bounce his way. It didn't.
Did well, Cloak. He just pushed Scotty Thompson off the drop of the ball.
Thomas used beams, and he'll go again here, Josh Thomas. Close to the boundary line. Greenwood confronted by Cloak. And as a result of that, his kick was either going to be out on the full or marked. And it's Tuvey's footy.
You can switch it here. You've got plenty of numbers across the ground.
That's the difference, Jason. The way that the Kangaroos are exiting their back half versus the Pies. There's much more surety and confidence with the Pies ball movement at this stage.
We saw it again there. Got to Maxwell, but now North Melbourne have got most bases covered. To the 50 goes the kick. Witts turned into a defender. That wasn't a bad thing. It allows Swan to climb on in. Now Grundy heaves it up into the 50. It won't get to its required destination or intended destination. And the mark taken by young Luke McDonald.
It's the first spread they've had out of their back line for a few minutes.
Bit of an awkward bounce there. Thompson was able to gather it cleanly, though. And now they can run again. Attlee gave and got it from Black. Screwed the kick around the corner. Again, the Pies, just the little things are making life difficult for North Melbourne. Keith has to test the skills and decision-making here. Took the conservative route. It was a pretty good decision as the Pies are able to just share it around and gradually work it. Now they're running into a bit of a brick wall, but Frost wobbles one back into the middle. It gave North a look, and they were able to take that. Bastanak, McKenzie, back through the middle. Grimer takes it from Curry, and now Thompson. Goes short to Black, who can wind up. He's got no real tall targets deep, but he still kicks it deep and high, so that means Wells had to fly. Magpies everywhere there, and I reckon a 50-50 result will be a pretty good one for North if they can force the ball up.
Gone.
Maybe it might be holding the ball. No, umpire said no, it's come out.
He was about to pay holding the ball.
Well, I've got to say, Nathan Grimer, when he gets the footy, is a very one-sided player. His vision closes down very quickly. He had two really wonderful options out the other side, but he gets tunnel vision where he wants to go to and can't break from it.
Del Santo was able to scrounge a kick out of there. The only man onto it in that last line there was Jamie Elliott.
Oh, 50 against Boomer Harvey. Wasn't involved in the marking contest and he went over the mark.
All right, boys, we're 15 minutes in. What's your overall assessment of this game?
Mine is that Collingwood are playing a top-flight game, and they're only 4 points ahead. Kangaroos got a lot of improvement left in them. Collingwood need to impact the scoreboard in a greater way for the style of play that's going on.
Just made the most of their opportunities, North Melbourne, at the moment. That's what's got them in the game.
Well, they're working it around.
We saw a couple of shots of Brad Scott, though, Hutto. He's not happy with the way things are flowing either.
Wicks from behind. That's the second time that's happened. Thomas flies in amongst there for the Pies. Quickly wrapped up. Pensive Brad Scott. Certainly things not unfolding the way he would have liked, but they're only 4 points down. And now Curry's got a free.
The problem is supply at the moment. The Kangaroos have only been inside their forward 54 times in the best part of 15 minutes of football, so that's a real concern for Brad.
And they're on their way out again. Now Harvey, can he get those legs running? He can. Not an offering out there from Thompson on the way out, so he's gone with Cloak all the way up to the wing.
It's the ball up clearances around the ground. They're getting done 6-1, Collingwood's favour.
Petrie was the target, but it's Fasolo swooping. Side bottom, confronted by Bastanak. He uses Maxwell. And now they can stretch again for Fasolo. Back to Tuvey. Just decided to put the brakes on just for a moment. And then Witts, who's really worked hard to get up the ground to give him something, give him an avenue. He looks up, couldn't see much on offer. And it stays in, which he was hoping it wouldn't. Mullet can feed it back. Ferrito deciding not to give to Del Santo, instead going to Attling.
It's that kick inside 50 where there's loose players back that they've got to fix up.
Now Wells, Petrie, got the hands ready to fly, and he's crushed from both sides. Goldstein had to bend down and get the knees dirty to get involved. Keefe, hurried kick out wide, and Thomas and Elliott's got into a good spot in that back pocket, and he's got Grundy.
Great kick.
If he can take it, it could open. No, he can't. And there's arm being held by Harvey. Clever play by the Roo veteran. And McKenzie knew to give it off to Harvey, and now they can advance again into the 50, and Thomas comes up to take it.
Well, they've got to stop the long bomb forward, because Collingwood are getting numbers back, and Drew Petrie is always 1 against 2, 1 against 3. So they've got to hit these little short lead-up targets.
Well, with Black on the bench too, Frost knew the ball was only going to go to Petrie in that last long ball that went in. So he just went directly there. And Petrie had done his man. He'd done Keefe on the lead.
Well, he's already kicked the wondrous goal so far. And Lindsay Thomas now, more orthodox shot coming up from just outside the 50. It's leftish.
So what I'm saying there about that last one is that when Goldstein goes forward because Curry's having a run on the ruck, Goldstein isn't dangerous enough to actually draw the footy and keep isolated one-on-ones.
Young to himself. And then to the wing on the southern side of the MCG. Is it man in front? No, it's the man who had most of the footy that's paid it. Big Curry. Back to the middle to Wells. Showing the footy around a bit. He got support from Adams. Now they can bolt through the middle. Attlee had the quick steps on Pendlebury. Pendlebury got out Pendlebury. Kicked up to the 50.
So you give him one-on-one, he's a real show against who he's going to match up with.
Petrie kicks quickly. The height's there with Goldstein, but oh, it's Bastanak! Oh, did he get a shoelace? No. They've been able to at least get the ball in their forward half.
Yep.
Keep it there for a few minutes.
Well, they've locked it in the forward half. The Curry mark out the back was important.
He just needed to celebrate there, didn't he? I think Bastanak could try and convince the umpire that he'd got something onto it.
Yeah, that's you to a T, Hutto. Good grab.
Frost takes the mark at half back, and he's looked good, this young man.
He's enjoying a good 4 or 5 minutes without Aaron Blackbean on the ground.
Kicks a bit up and under to the wing, gives everyone a chance to fly. Hanson Witts looked the most likely to take the mark. Wells is enjoying not getting too much close attention at the moment. McDonald took an eternity to get the ball to boot, and when he did, it was squashed straight away. Brilliantly done by Sidebottom, and there's the fruits of that labour. Pendlebury takes the mark, his 8th disposal. Back to Lumumba, charging through from defence. Fans it out wide. Sidebottom, he's causing havoc for them at the moment. It takes just a fraction too long, though. Now Goldsack, the heat's on here at the MCG. Lumumba, legs pumping, dancing everywhere, and he'll be dancing for joy now. Pies' 3rd goal. They could be further in front, but now they lead by 8, 3-4-22 to 2-2-14.
Came down from the back flank legitimately. He was involved in the contest that Pendlebury picked off. He was quarterbacking about another 5-10 metres behind that. So once he saw the ball roll forward, he ended up pushing right down that, I suppose, just on the outside of the centre square and got on the end of it. That's good hard running from behind.
I reckon the turnovers haven't been too kind to North Melbourne. They're shooting themselves in the foot. It's one of the reasons Collingwood are able to dominate. Look at that. They've scored 3-4. 7 scoring shots from turnovers. We saw another one there. It was Luke McDonald at half-back. Turned onto his left foot. Didn't have an option. Wasn't prepared to come back the other way onto his right boot.
Swan gets it out of the middle. Again, that man, Pendlebury. And look at Wells.
Working hard, Daniel Wells.
Now Del Santo, a rare moment of space.
Got Harvey in the middle if they can see him.
Mullet at the angle of the left boot. Oh, Black was looking for his opponent. Wells was able to feed the ball down. North needs some leaders out there at the moment. They've got to get involved. The hard stuff, the hard contest, all being won by Collingwood. Thomas out wide, now McCaffer. Wells just hemmed him in, and Thompson came across cutting nicely, but it's out on the full.
Came off his foot.
Yeah, Daniel Wells working really hard around the contest. He's had the 6 possessions, but some of his body work and press work's been exceptional.
Now Cloak's only got young McDonald on him in the forward pocket. He's got to drag him to the goal square, get dangerous.
Elliott went for White, came off Pendlebury's boot. Grimer, Adams.
No one to kick to, that's the problem. Only Collingwood players back in a line across the middle of the ground.
Eventually Grimer. Now Hanson, quick U-turn back. He goes Del Santo. Arts the back. Was able to bounce it a couple of times, and Del Santo comes away with the footy. But even he rushed the kick a little bit. Maybe devoid of targets. You could see Frosty wants to get it towards the line, or maybe he fooled me, maybe he fooled them as well. Brilliant stuff from Frost.
He's got it. Swanee hasn't seen right across the ground. Now he takes up that man side bottom.
And the stepping stone's on over the top. And that's Jamie Elliott roaming wide.
Lumumba running hard for him too.
And he'll spot him, but he decides to go down the line instead to Cloak. Oh, Thompson thought he might as well.
That's 50. I reckon he'll pay 50 here.
Not involved because he was coming back with the fight.
I reckon because he hit him to the body. He's reported him for punching, striking to the body. I reckon he got him with a gut punch.
It is 50 metres. Yep.
Have a look at Thompson. Gets there late. Oh, and he just goes with the swinging right arm. Hard from that angle.
I reckon
is he just putting pressure on?
He's got him with a bit of a shoulder block to the chest area. He was outside 50, so he doesn't make the goal square, so it's still going to be on a sharpish angle. Well, take it while it's on offer, Cloaky.
North would do well to just get the Magpie boys fired up and see if they can get the reversal, because there's going to be a Collingwood goal, you would think. A few ghosts from the past. Travis might have missed a goal from here in the past, but not today. Collingwood are right on. They lead by 14. And they are dominating at the MCG. And Travis Cloak able to hit the scoreboard finally with a goal. Just his 3rd for the year.
4 goals to 2. It's probably, you know, the big minimum that Collingwood should be leading by, given the way the play has been. This is the battle between Cloak and Thompson thus far. Although sometimes it hasn't always been Cloak and Thompson. He had Ferrito once or twice when Scotty Thompson was caught in a different part of the ground. There's the out-bodying mark taken against Michael Ferrito, and this time again virtually on his own after a kick out. Frito just standing 10 metres off him. And that's the angle there. Well, it didn't look to be that bad, did it? No.
So centre bounce, and again our eyes turn to the middle of the ground, and again it's Collingwood streaming away. Young on the end from Blair, who powers forward to try and get it back. Maybe was a bit ambitious, over ambitious, and the mark taken in the middle of the ground initially by Frito, and now able to switch it across and find Greenwood. He goes super short to Cunnington, and now Harvey as they try to pinpoint their way through.
Good lead up the middle from Black.
Very good lead, and there it is, on it.
Yeah, it's the next kick. If he goes quick, it's before Collingwood get numbers back.
Yeah, so it'd be genuine. Could have been Petrie in front of Keefe. Keefe was able to read it at least as well. Gibson couldn't release the handball as quick as he would have liked. Bastanak, and the worries growing for North Melbourne. Elliott cornered by McKenzie, but he got help. He got good help, and Elliott's able to free up his man side bottom, and he's enjoying that southern side, steel side bottom today. Working in tandem with Dane Swan.
If I'm on the coaching staff of North Melbourne, the one thing that is really irking me at the moment is Collingwood's freedom to switch out of their back line, to go directly across the ground and find an easy loose man out the other side.
They've come back in the middle, and Cloak is looming. Confidence. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, I'm glad he took the mark, because there were 3 Collingwood players unmarked short left of that contest. But it was a little bit blinkered, the kick going forward towards Travis Cloak. Look, it's a terrific contested mark, but they should have walked that one in for a goal for Collingwood. You can see just coming further to the right of picture, you'll see 2 or 3 Collingwood players. One had come off the bench, which was Jesse White. Just needed a little chip kick, and they could have run it all the way in.
He's not a small bloke, Scotty Thompson, but in that type of scenario, it really does show up the difference. 15 kilograms difference between the 2 men.
And that will do. Travis Cloak puts it through for his second. Maybe things have turned for the big Magpie forward. Last week he just took 3 marks for the whole match. He already has 4 marks and 2 goals on the board, which would please that man, Nathan Buckley. And they are now getting some reward for their dominance.
It's good strength, isn't it? Just keeping him off with the left and parrying the ball with the right, bringing it down to ground.
108 kilos v 93.
I will say this, he's striking the ball as well as I've seen him kick it, Travis Cloak.
That's the main thing when you're kicking a goal. I know the bloke next to me should be talking about this, but it's more about the way the ball comes off the boot, not about your accuracy. I mean, ultimately that is it, but the way the ball's coming off the centre of the boot, and you get in that nice, soft, sweet contact off the boot.
Goldstein to Bastanak, finds a way out of the middle, low ball up into the 50. Oh, Tuvey did everything right but not take the mark, and that allowed the Kangaroos to swoop on in, and Thomas has just kept it off the ground long enough for Petrie to slide in and take the mark.
Not sure if that's the intended target, but good hands from Drew Petrie. It was dropping and he just caught it in the fingers an inch above the ground. He needs to kick this. They desperately need it, North, just to stem the flow.
Has been a horror quarter of football for North Melbourne, but Drew Petrie's season, we know, has been really difficult. Just 3 goals, 3. So he has to go back.
That's a horrendous kick. And that's the complete opposite of what we're seeing at the other end. Travis Cloak now striking beautifully, and Drew Petrie, you're 40 out directly in front. The team desperately needs it. He's had a lean year, and that's not going to help his confidence, Drew Petrie.
Dane Swan gradually started to find the footy through this quarter. He's had 9, in fact 10 disposals. Fasolo also in double figures. And Stowe is steel side bottom, so the Pies have 109 disposals to 91, 15 inside 50s to 9, and they've also won the contested possessions 36 to 28. All of that would be music to the ears of Nathan Buckley and the Collingwood hierarchy, but certainly not for Drew Petrie and his Kangaroos. It's the Pies by 19, a big Easter Saturday of footy here at the MCG.
And allowed to hit the lead up, Collingwood will be on their heels thinking most of these are going to come long.
I like how composed Brad Scott was, and I think that that'll translate in his message to the players. Look, we haven't got things right, but it'll come. Keep working hard, lift the pressure, hit some targets.
Needs to come soon for North Melbourne. Second quarter from the MCG. Easter Saturday footy. Expectant crowd. North fans disappointed so far. Let's see how they respond. Lumumba overruns it. Del Santo, a little window. He went to the voice. It was a good handball. Greenwood got slung. Fierce pressure. Ducked into it, the umpire said.
That'll be a ball.
So does that make it holding it? Because ducking is your prior opportunity. Tough, though, because you need to put your head down to pick the ball up in the first place, don't you?
Tackle count is 24-10 in favour of Collingwood. The pressure we've been discussing so far. Lofted ball up into the 50. Should be all north. We really need to work out things with each other better. Hansen couldn't complete it. And now it's on the turf. Atley tries to dart and use Bastadak on the way out.
Trouble is, no one's working out wide for him, so they've got to bring it back the other way.
Atley's run on.
Asked a lot of Harvey. Now Thomas has got to compete with the big man and couldn't.
That's a bad sign when it's Brent Harvey that's turning it over.
Josh Thomas is able to sneak away. Back through the middle to Dane Swan, starting to accumulate. McCaffer, Swan again, hurry kick, shut down. Del Santo, clever take,
well
great give. Black, now they're bounding away. Thomas to Greenwood, hurries it onto the boot. Petrie, he's clean bowled again, and he's got 4 now to try and combat.
Too slow to get there, the North Melbourne forwards. No one helping at ground level.
Chase, the problem for me at the moment, we'll address it with some vision shortly, is the resting ruckman for the Kangaroos cannot get involved. It's Curry at this stage.
Yeah.
Tuvey, you heard the shouts. Thompson does get involved that time, helping out in defence.
We asked Brad Scott about that prior to the game because he brought Daniel Curry back in. They played Nahas last week, wetter conditions up at Sydney, but they believed that because it wasn't going to rain, they needed the extra big man. You wonder sometimes if a little bit of run isn't more important.
Yeah, it's a constant debate, isn't it, amongst teams about that second ruck position. Collingwood have got 2 tall blokes in. That's another factor, I suppose. Grundy brings it down, he and Witts, as well as Jesse White. Now here's the Maxwell mark a few moments ago.
Not a great kick from Brent Harvey. But he didn't have many options. That was the problem.
Beams, only 3 disposals in the first quarter. Just picks up a couple of nifty ones there. Scrambles it back to the square. Elliott, most times he would have taken it. Josh Thomas with confidence to side bottom to Lumumba. That's a bit of a raggedy old kick, that one.
The worry for the Kangaroos now, Hutto, is that the clearances are still heavily in the Kangaroos' favour, 11-5. As soon as they start winning some midfield ball and generate some fast inside 50s, you feel like the Collingwood forwards are going to get on top here.
I'd like to see them use Atley out of the back line. Cloak was giving coverage on him before, and Atley took off and Cloak couldn't go with him. They've got to start exhausting Collingwood going the other way.
Now 4 big men going at it, and it fell for Goldstein. Gave it to Thomas, who was maybe thinking about how he was going to spend it before he received it. Angles the kick into Black. Got the accommodating bounce. Frost was anticipating it too.
No help. 5 Collingwood players back there.
Oh, that's a great tackle from Cunnington. Almost could have been rewarded. So he had to go and get it again. And now every man and his dog's in there.
That's a win for North. Collingwood had so many numbers back, just needed a clean handball out the back. That worries me, is every time they go forward, North Melbourne, there's no one there when the ball hits the ground. It's 1 against 2, 3, 4.
Well, you've actually got fellas who aren't great. I mean, Drew Petrie, we all love him because the way he's gone about his footy.
Not good below the knees.
Well, he's ordinary. He's real ordinary below the knees. And Black showed an inability to do a U-turn there and think his way through the problem, which has the ball still lobbed in this same position. Let's have a look at it. The last way they came in. Now, right now, you've got to be thinking right now, which way am I going? He sort of grabs it and trots on thinking, I hope he's not there to tackle me.
Look at all those Collingwood numbers out the back. They would have been away if they got a clean hand pass out.
Yep.
Good physical pressure by Greenwood to square the contest. Beams gets it to up towards the wing, and now Blair got the bounce he was after. Cloak to meet it. He's got Elliott deep. We know what he can do in the air. Instead, he puts it out in front of him. He's got the pace, but Ferrito works the angles and worked it really well. It's about completing it. He
played it well.
Well played.
Gets it to Greenwood, who quickly gave to the only man he could, Thompson. Just a little bit off balance, the ruse, but it was a good kick from McKenzie. Safely to the wing to Goldstein.
Again, Collingwood have got an extra number back, so they've got to use it carefully.
And this time they do. Bastanak to Harvey. Adams certainly wasn't ready for it.
Harvey knew he was going to get contact, and he wasn't willing to absorb that to actually get the hand pass away or a kick away accurately.
It's unusual to see a couple of really poor errors from Brent Harvey in that respect.
Swan to Lumumba.
Speaking of ordinary kicks.
In it goes again, Jesse White. He's got a metre. Can he preserve that advantage on Thompson? He can! Enough to get the ball to boot. rushed it on there and got the angles right.
Well, that all stems from a turnover in the middle of the ground. It's another goal that's come directly from a turnover. Brent Harvey, we saw him turn one over in the first quarter by foot. That one, earlier in this quarter by foot. That one by hand. And I'll tell you what, though, have a look at the speed of Jesse White. Scott Thompson, top of the screen's coming already running. He goes from a standing start and maintains that metre break. That is exceptional speed off the mark.
He's lightning, mate. The thing that annoys me about the Brent Harvey turnover was he knew the player was coming, he knew he was going to be under pressure, and he still called for it.
And Adams
doesn't look good, does it? He's the one that got the hand pass from Harvey to put him under pressure.
Shoulder problems right throughout his career, and it looks like it's come back again after that tackle.
And they need him. He's a very, very important player for them.
Major concern. Lumumba didn't rush it, and as a result, he's gained an extra 30 or 40 metres. And Cloak, he's bolted his way to the front, and he's taken the mark.
Gee, the umpire was waving play on with his arms.
He did too.
Made a late change to pay the mark.
What's happening now is Jesse White's drawing a lot of the heat, and Cloak has had legitimate one-on-ones where he's been the person who's been on the move, and he knows he only has one person to beat. He's come over the top in that scenario.
Cloak comes in and puts it through for his third. How quickly things can turn around in football. Travis Cloak's third, and this is an awesome and almost fearsome performance by Collingwood.
I'll just say this to you, Jason. When you're playing at full forward and you've got your man, you are comfortable pushing and shoving and marking on. But if you thought a third man was coming, you actually alter the way you go for the ball.
Yeah.
Cloakey now knows he's the third man up.
Should have been a free kick against him.
Yeah, he shoved him in the back.
Left hand right in the number.
But the whole scenario has changed for him. He's the third man up. He's the one who's not worrying about a third man coming up at him at the moment, because Jesse White's drawing a fair bit of heat.
So strictly speaking, going by the rules, should have been a free kick to Thompson, but he gets away with it, and he's kicked well again. That's the great thing. He is striking it beautifully.
Take that back.
So the inside 50 count we just saw before, 20 to 10. 11 scoring shots to 5.
Jamie Elliott starting on the half-back flank. This bounce.
North Melbourne have got to do something to rectify the situation.
Oh.
The game is getting away from them. Beams to half forward. Elliott tried. McKenzie, Pendlebury. He's averaging 7 tackles a game this year. Getting better and better as an all-round champion of the game, Scott Pendlebury. In the prime of his career at age 26. Cunnington doing it hard. Free kick advantage taken. Now Harvey. He's lofted this one up. Curry searching for where it might land. It lands with Maxwell. Curry tries to push on the shove.
Where are the smalls? That's the problem for North Melbourne. Too many players getting up the field under the ball, and there's nobody there. They need to keep some sort of forward 50 structure, particularly around a lone tall like Daniel Curry.
Swan stretching it out for side bottom. Swan's already up to 16 disposals, by the way. Jesse White, full of confidence, does the team thing. He's got it again, Cloak.
He's set for the big run around here, unless it kicks on directly.
Three goals so far. 3 goals won. Travis Cloak. And can't quite finesse it through that time.
Well, he's on fire, Travis Cloak. He's taken 7 marks already, 5 of those inside the forward 50, 3 contested marks today. He'd only taken 2 contested marks in the previous 4 weeks of football, so that just shows the problem that the Kangaroos have. They also have another problem down here. Adams substitute out of the game with that shoulder injury, and Ben Jacobs in.
How can you pay the mark and not pay a free kick against Elliott there?
That's not a realistic attempt. He actually came back down
before the ball got there. It's an extraordinary decision.
Langdon's ball. We'll have a look at it when we can. Cloak, Witts is in the mix. Cloak's got it again, has he?
He's going to pay that as well.
Oh, he has.
I reckon that's a mark.
Kangaroos are up in arms at the MCG for various reasons.
That's a mark, but the other one wasn't.
I guess the question was, did Elliott actually interfere with the man in front of him?
Of course he did.
Okay, I'm just asking the question, dude.
Well, the ball went clear over his head. He jumped too early and denied the other man a chance at going at the footy.
I reckon Drew Petrie's having that discussion as we speak.
He's arguing the toss, but meantime, Travis Cloak's gone back, and very unconvincingly, no. It's a poster, I think.
Yeah, he wasn't sure about that either, the umpire.
What's it called? The ball has gone over the top of the goalpost and they're all clear from behind. Okay.
They can't check that, can they?
I think the field umpire just saw a little bit of indecision in the goal.
We all saw it.
Yeah. He said it went straight over the goalpost. That's a let-off for
Why
North.
did he tap his own hand and not the post then?
I think that's what they do now.
That's what they do first. They tap their chest and then go to the post.
Now Petrie, you can see steam coming out of his ears at the moment. And, well, it might be. Here's the sub who's on already. Jacobs takes it, tries to arch the back and get away, but he didn't have the footy. Langdon tackles him without it. Just a bit of a sloppy one.
That's a loss. Lee Adams out for North Melbourne. That is a big loss, having to use the...
Only had 2 possessions, but he's so important for them.
Jacobs kicks his black.
Well done.
Came into the frame, caused the contest. Bastanak hesitated on the handball. Lucky to get away with it. Greenwood fights the fight for the Roos. Eventually it ends with Petrie. Nice little manoeuvre for a big bloke. We heard the call from the umpire. Grundy able to reel it in.
Strange handball.
Yeah, it wasn't a great handball. Lindsay Thomas goes to work. Gee, okay. The umpire's in a good spot to see that. I'm going down, Nico.
Well, that's what you do. If the bloke drops his centre of gravity and he's willing to cop a head high, you take him all the way through it.
So you see a couple of Collingwood players come in quickly and grab Brody Grundy and say, all right, you've ripped his head off, let's not do any more damage.
Yeah, well, he took an enormous last step to lower the centre of gravity. And if you're willing to wear one for a free kick, take it off.
Well, they had...
Understatement, the importance of this kick, I know.
He hasn't worked terribly hard going the other way, though, Lindsay, when the ball's been on the deck. He's got to make these count.
He's kicked 1 goal, 1 so far, so he missed one earlier. This one simply has to count for North.
Good kick.
It's worked its way back nicely through the middle. And finally, North Melbourne have its 3rd goal on the board. Collingwood already 7.
So concerns already for North Melbourne. So Lee Adams, that's Ben Jacobs coming on the sub, and halfway through the second term's not ideal. Here's Lee Adams. He gets that hospital hand pass from Brent Harvey. He gets one in the face there.
I reckon Pendlebury's body squashed him up a bit on that left arm.
He's holding his eye, and then he was also holding the shoulder when he went off.
Yeah, but when Pendlebury's body came in, it pushed his left arm across his body.
So massive concerns for Brad Scott. Rare ventures to the MCG in recent years for North Melbourne. And they really need to show that they can do it here where the big games are played. At the moment, they're being taught a lesson by Collingwood, but they've kicked a goal. Maybe they can turn the momentum around. If they can do that and get back in, it would be just an awe-inspiring performance. And this is Petrie laying a big tackle on Langdon.
You see that last ball when it bounced in front of Clokey, he just decided, well, I'm here. Young Mackenzie, you're in the wrong spot.
He should have gone for the ball.
Yeah.
He was a little bit too worried about what was coming.
And Clokey just dropped him to the ground with a shoulder block in the end.
Goldstein to Wells. The handball misfired, but cleaned up by McDonald. Eventually Jacobs takes it from Petrie. You could see he was in a rush as he kicked it into the pocket.
The other problem with the Lee Adams substitution so early in the game is that the Kangaroos are going to be very tall now.
Correct.
They don't have the luxury of subbing the ruckman out halfway through the 3rd term. So that'll hurt their run late.
It's a good point, Kingy.
So from the throw in, you can see the delicate tap down. Now ball up.
I reckon late in the game it'll be Collingwood that'll probably sub out one of their talls when they bring Luke Ball on. 3rd man up, Daniel Wells.
Yeah, he was up over the top. Lumumba just moved at the right time. Swan was set up really by the handball. Harvey and Swan go hard at it. Could have been some high contact on Gibson. Josh Thomas knows only one way. Goes to ground though. Paddle back for Elliott. Intercept.
Gee, important body of over the ball there. Frost just came in, made a tiny little opening.
Hanson poked it back. Side bottom. We know what he was trying to do then, and he very nearly got away with it.
He did well, Hanson. He took front spot away from his opponent.
So there's Hanson and Witts. 7-6-48 to 3-3-21. Pies really out of the blocks today. It's on in earnest in front of a good crowd. Beams was able to stretch the handball to Swan, who angles his left foot into Cloak. Took a fair bit of the pack with him. Left the path. Witts. Now this is Mullet. On the back foot again though. Gibson. McDonald. About to be shut down. So he had to force that hurried right foot kick. And there's a good mark taken by Ben Cunnington.
Really good mark.
Just had the 5 disposals so far, though. Harvey, impetuous, wanted to move it. He saw that Daniel Wells was there. Handball somehow found its way back to Harvey.
Had to give the handball over the top. This is uncharacteristic. That's 3 poor mistakes from Brent Harvey that you don't associate those sort of mistakes with him.
Lumumba, well, that was a moment and a half, wasn't it, for Beams? Lumumba again, just can't capitalise when they do have an opportunity, North Melbourne. Frost, clever tap. Grundy. Frost again.
Poor tackle from Wells.
And just tried to angle the kick forward. Opportunity for Dane Swan. Clever play from Gibson first of all, then Grimer and Mullet. And back to Ben Cunnington.
What about the tackle pressure of the Pies, Hutto? 35 tackles to 21 Kangaroos. They are just at them. They're forcing these turnovers.
And they've had more of the ball, so they shouldn't have more tackles.
Wells. Again, another spoil, doing all the hard things well. Tuvey the first time. Frost, here's Wells again. Sweeps it back into Jacobs. Let's see if there can be more purpose in this build-up. Cunnington over the head of play.
You just can't miss targets like that. They'll get burned again here on the turnover.
Keefe to Cloak. Elliott has the legs pumping. Up the ground. He got clear and he almost was able to hook in the mark.
He's done that well, Scotty Thompson. He dragged that in under.
I was about to say, if the umpire's clever here, he'll see that Thompson's dragged it underneath.
Knew he needed to buy time, Scotty Thompson. Let some numbers get back.
Let the cavalry get back.
And then carrying on like he always does there, just to buy a bit more time.
You see that Scotty... sorry, go on with this one. I'll point it out in a second.
Frito back in the goal square on Cloak.
Beams stripped of it that time. Cunnington. And now Mullet.
That's a terrible kick. And that's on his natural foot, and that's what's killing him. They're only barely over 50% kicking efficiency, and it is haunting North Melbourne at the moment.
Tuvey spoiled Lindsay Thomas in the half-back flank about 2 minutes ago. Followed up to the wing and pressured the kicker. And Thomas sat back waving and saying, kick it to me while I'm by myself. That says, you're half clever and you can kick goals, but there's no work rate there from the North Melbourne forwards as well.
Another really ordinary kick from the stoppage. They won the stoppage, but Cunnington's left foot, no effect.
And isn't Sidebottom enjoying himself off the left into half forward. Degree of difficulty was pretty high on that kick. Jesse White was coming for it. He left it behind though. Grimer feeding Thomas. Now Petrie, can they get some reward for effort here?
Over the top.
Harvey bolting. Oh, the kick was smothered. It's one of those days for North Melbourne.
He took an eternity to kick that, Drew Petrie. He had 2 players goal side of their opponents, just had to kick it over the top, and he second guessed, hung on to it and had it smothered off the boot.
Can they win it back? Brown's kick goes out to the wing. Clinton Young has plenty of time, and you know he'll be ambitious with his run and kick. Gave it to Pendlebury in the end.
Elliott's on the move.
And that's where the kick is headed. Went to ground.
Not much up that side.
Thompson to Atley, and he's just bereft of options, as Jason suggested. Got the handball away. Unfortunately, though, that kept it in, and it meant that Blair was able to swoop and get it down to Grundy. Last man standing stuffed the ball over the line.
See, there's just a little bit of panic in the game. I mean, Atley's bolting up the boundary line, doesn't see an option. That's just panic. You stop and let your opponent tackle you and then handball it to ground to where a Collingwood player is.
It's a bit of stage fright today for North Melbourne.
Well, it hasn't been good thus far.
Throw in. Wits to his own advantage. Trying to get it down to the boot. Beams looking for a free. Oh, he's going to get one. A little fortunate, I think.
Was it Greenwood took him down, I think?
He's got the job on him.
Replay would be interesting.
Yeah, still got the left arm around him as he drags him to ground.
Probably, for all intents and purposes, he probably thought he'd won the ball.
So Beams, it's been under duress from Greenwood. This is his 11th disposal, looking for his first goal. Eases it through, and the Pies lead is back beyond 5 goals. And they deserve it.
Well, the Kangaroos' ball use today has been a disaster. They've looked hesitant. They've looked like they haven't worked hard enough for each other. It's been their stars. Brent Harvey, Daniel Wells, been run down, put under pressure. There's the incident there that took Lee Adams from the game. Been a little bit selfish at times, Brent, today. There's Drew Petrie, another leader of the Kangaroos. It's just taking far too long. The Pies have been at them defensively. Their work rate's been high without possession. The Kangaroos look hopeless at this stage.
It's amazing, really, the difference between these two sides. I think we all have difficulty trying to find a winner in this game, trying to select which team would prevail, but it's been all one way so far. Outstanding effort from Collingwood. Lots of time for North Melbourne. That's about the only thing they do have on their side. But at the moment, it's all going the Magpies' way. Thomas out of the middle to Pendlebury. Shut down instantly. Oh,
there's a loose at each end.
Beams again.
Doesn't really matter. Ferrito playing loose for North. Might have been Tuvey loose at the other end of that centre square stoppage, or Maxwell. Either way, it doesn't matter when there's a quick scramble kick like that. If you've got a loose behind you as a defender, you'll take front position away from your opponent, because you know if it goes over the top, that spare defender can come over and give you a chop out.
Depends what type of player that Lucy is. Whether he's a kicking defender or a third man up defender.
Well, Ferrito's a good third man up defender, you'd think.
Dane Beams for his second goal. Kicks quickly through it, and it comes back nicely.
Could get ugly.
Well, it's already looking close to that way, Dern. 39 points is the margin. Dane Beams becomes a multiple goal kicker, joining Jesse White and Travis Cloke, who just joined us. Travis Cloke with 3 goals, 3. Lindsay Thomas with 2 for North.
Just did well to get that right hand to it while he was lying on the ground.
But he started on the inside and was still able to beat
Ferrito where he was.
Who'd he have then? Atley, was it? Was against him? He was still able to beat him to the outside where the ball was dropping. He's lightning Atley too.
Dane Beams has the highest winning percentage when he plays of any Collingwood player. 72.6% of games he's played in with the Pies, they've won. And this man's pretty high as well. Pendlebury, deeper kick. They've got the numbers, not there's 3 of them there to take a grab.
Good contested mark, Thompson.
That's exactly right. They've actually got too many down there. I think they only need the one.
Problem is, this is a huge score now for Collingwood.
Yeah.
60 points, still 4 minutes to go before half-time. They're only averaging 80 a game in 2014, Collingwood. This is a huge start.
There's a very predictable ball coming out as well. Good mark. That's very predictable. Now they can change it up. Good stuff.
Goldstein for Rito. He got the call from Bastanak, and they can try and slash their way through the middle of the ground.
See, that is horrendous, that kicking. He had an open paddock in front of him. No obvious lead, and Ben Jacobs just...
Well, what he needs to do is kick it to the outside of the spine, and that forces his teammate to run that side, which he's starting on. That's an easy receive, but he kicks from a 45-degree angle.
It should have been a scoring opportunity. No one in front of them.
It's gilt-edged scoring opportunity.
It's a direct turnover. And now look at the rebound.
We'll have a look at it in a moment. 30 disposals, the difference. Inside 50s, 27-14. Young Langdon pumps it up for Cloke. The wrestle's on. He's just too strong there. Atley did pretty well to square that. And Thompson came late.
Here it is.
Look at the paddock. Look at the paddock in front of him. You've got to bounce, run, carry.
Now, but he's got to take that. See where the umpire was that left a screen? That ball has to go out there, and McKenzie's got a lead out there. It's the easiest receive of all time, that ball.
Untimely fumble from side bottom. McCaffer clipped his wings. Pendlebury found a way. A step ahead again, Scott Pendlebury. Couldn't get it to come back. And it stays in. Grimer suddenly had to get a move on, and the ball went over and out.
I know there's always the theory, Jason, of, when you're on the quick break, go down the centre. But sometimes if the kick's exact and it's on and it's to the outside, give it. They would have had a shot at goal. Better to have a shot at goal from out there than a turnover.
Bastanak just slapped it on the boot. Normally that area is filled with defenders more than your own team. And the free kick goes the Pies' way again to the former skipper this time, Nick Maxwell. Now Cloke has got Thompson trotting along with him about 20 metres out from goal, and that's pretty much where he's headed. So Cloke will come at the ball, he'll get in front.
Done him.
Gee, Ferrito, I thought he was really poor there. He had an opportunity to track the footy and go back and mark it, or at least put himself in the marking contest, and he just stood there front and square and waited for the crumb.
Yeah, I was watching Cloke.
That's not what you're looking for from Scotty Thompson when he's one out.
Yeah, we have a look at Cloke right about now. Done him, because he's got him on the back foot and he's just clamouring on there.
There's the crumb that never came, Jace.
That's what he needed to chop out.
Cloak, 3 goals, 3. Make that 4 goals, 3. It's all coming back to him, the big fella. And the Pies lead by 45 points. And a dominating performance here at the MCG.
Once again, to back up the scenario on Travis Cloak, he hasn't been in a one-on-one flat-footed. He's been in one-on-ones where he's moved to the footy. You're 108 kilos and you're running to the drop of the ball and your opponent's trailing you in. It just magnifies the disparity between the size of the two players.
What about some of the midfield numbers? You look at Collingwood, you've got Sidebottom on 20, Swan on 19, Pendlebury on 17. For North Melbourne, Del Santo 10, Basnak 10, Wells 9. Yeah. It's just not happening.
I don't know if what young McDonald wants to be playing on him at this point in time.
Centre bounce, they finally get themselves organised, but Swan that takes it away again. And again, the North defenders, it's very deep, and they're not having a great day, that's for sure. They need a bit of pace and run.
Take the risk. Good boy, well done.
Atley kicks, he wobbles it more than anything out to the wing. Grundy and Gibson in combat. Here's for Solo.
Too easy.
Stayed a step ahead. Well done, Goldstein used his height to advantage. Now Harvey, he's got Maxwell ahead of him, so he goes for Cunnington. Got Gibson out to his left. He's going to use him.
Needed to be a kick though.
Well, he have a shot. He eventually does. And he's got plenty on the kick. And I reckon he's got there for a goal. And that's a good effort. He really had to dig deep. And just got the journey by inches.
I think we were both looking at it, Dermot, thinking,
I'm saying
if this goes short, it's going to be a terrible turnover that will come back very quickly.
But yeah, he's got there. Hutto's called it by inches. Kick from outside 50.
It's a great kick. It's a great goal.
It's a brilliant kick. It's a brilliant kick. But it's not a high percentage one.
Again, no one working into the attacking 50.
But you know what I liked about that? Atley just had a go.
You know
he
why
had a go at running out.
He had nothing else. He had to have a go.
Well, sometimes the crisis creates the opportunity for the situation. Good on him. He tucked it under the arm and he made something happen.
Centre bounce again. Goldstein. Couldn't win the tap down. Again, Grundy. Bastanak. Back to Ferrito. They swing in where there's an extra pie out wide, and the extra man is Fasolo. Fell for him pretty well. Thomas at least put some pressure on, but Fasolo's got the legs going to Blair. This is great stuff by the Pies. He streams out of defence, puts it on the chest of McCaffer, wants to feed it back through to Blair, and out wide the Sidebottom. And he's going to get there eventually. And Sidebottom aims up. Swan.
Oh, that's a throw. That's a throw.
Threw it out.
Just flicked it off the deck, Dan Swan.
Just want to update you on the Lee Adams situation down here. Looks like they've assessed that as a concussion test. So they've reversed the sub. So Ben Jacobs goes back in the green vest and has the ability to come on later on. While you'd expect Lee Adams to take the full half-time break now.
And you know what we just saw there? Another terrible decision from Brent Harvey, who handballed to a teammate and put him under
He's got to walk
pressure.
over there and say sorry to that kid now.
Yeah.
Boomer, you've got to look after some of these young blokes.
We've seen so many great things from Boomer over the years, but today it's just not working for him.
Not working for him.
The ball comes back to McCaffer here on the wing. Only seconds remaining, 20 of them. There is enough time, though, for North. Del Santo, usually a good decision maker, and he is again this time. And thank goodness for North Melbourne that Curry's able to hold his ground and take the mark.
Well, that was a great kick from Nick Del Santo because he saw the deep contest. He didn't go short. He ignored Petrie, saw the deep contest, and all he did was kick it a couple of metres in front of Curry, which made him lead to the ball. So they get an opportunity here just to kick a goal on the siren and do something. That's the hospital hand pass there. Not much he could do when he gets
And that's
smashed.
a wonderful tackle. He's had to go at the body and just rocked him onto his backside.
They might have to use that concussion sub again. Here's Curry, comes in. Another critical kick for North Melbourne, and well done. The big fella puts it through for a goal. And now down to David King. The margin is 33 points, Kingy.
Well, Travis Cloak's the story today, Hutto. There's no doubt about that. He's taken 10 marks already in this game, 7 of those inside the forward 50, 4 goals, 3. He's back. The Pies look strong. They look too intense for the Kangaroos at this stage.
Thanks, Kingy. They kicked the last 2 to Kangaroos. and that's kept them in it. And boy, did they need those goals, and they'll need plenty more when we return. It's 10-6-66 Collingwood. North Melbourne 5-3, 33.
On him. You need Wells to find it. You need the other boys in there to actually start hitting the target going forward. The forward line, I would say, you know what, boys? Just put a bit more of concentration on restricting Collingwood on the outward flow as well.
All right, let's see if they can follow those orders. Third quarter from the MCG.
And again, both teams starting with a loose in defence.
High contact taken by Pendlebury. Again, he had them filth. He works the angle with his left boot rather than using his right. Into half forward, and this man, Steele Sidebottom's had a field day out on the wing. 21 disposals in the half of football. He's on his way to a career best total if that continues. You heard the call, so Cloak will have to adapt. Now, he doesn't know.
No one's reacted.
Del Santo's
the only one that's seen it.
I called it touched off the boot, mate. It's a clear call.
He's the only one that heard the call, Del Santo, because all the other North defenders just accepted the mark.
4 goals in the first half, as we mentioned, if you've just joined us, from Travis Cloak. 4 goals, 3, so he's getting a lot of the footy. And Mackenzie, the North defenders have seen it a lot, but they haven't been able to use it effectively.
Yeah. And at what stage, Derm, do you say we're not going to go with this loose in defence? I know it probably helps to try and combat Travis Cloak, but if you're just going to keep kicking it out to the spare Collingwood player, you're not going to kick a winning score, are you?
I don't think anyone has...
Oh,
yeah, that's not
touched off the boot. The umpire called it clearly.
I don't think anyone's got the foot post to actually get to him and cover that extra they play in defence.
That was touched as well. And the desperation from Witts was outstanding. Adams got another.
Didn't have it.
Ooh, Wells taps it towards the line.
Might have been the right option in the end because he would have been collared pretty quickly. The thing that North Melbourne need to generate is some run out of their defensive 50, and none of that is coming. That's been the biggest concern for me. So they're just being hurriedly forced into kicks, scrambled kicks out of defence, straight to all the numbers.
Grundy brings it to ground, up and under from McCaffer. Going to land in the dangerous area. Witts. Del Santo was able to ride the tackle pretty effectively. Ferrito. Back to Hansen, and he just bombs away.
And
blazes back to the middle.
Straight to the spare Collingwood player that is not helping North Melbourne.
Frost.
But credit to the Collingwood pressure in their forward 50.
Again, he lofts it up. Cloak looming. Hansen in the mix, so is Blair. Thompson, well tracked by Wells. Paddled to his own advantage, then fumble. The pressure mounts. It's the edge of the goal square. They all know that. Cunnington caught by Swan. Just given enough leeway. Young to fly. And Goldsack wanted it more than most. He takes the mark. Barely enough distance, but
look at that. He's no one within 10 metres of Pendlebury.
Yeah.
This is...
There's a siege mentality to them at the moment, isn't there? Drive it out, make it somebody else's problem.
You would have thought during half-time that they might have been able to... I know it's very easy for us to say it.
But when you're down there, you can receive all the instruction in the world. When you run out onto the field, you say, I'm going to do what the coach said. I'm going to attempt this. But then when you feel that heat, you feel that pressure, and the moment arrives, you go for the safety. You actually go for self-preservation a lot of the times.
Scott Pendlebury to really try and ram home the advantage from the first half. He's not able to do that.
I think one of the things with North Melbourne, though, Derm, we keep trying to convince ourselves they're a genuinely good side. Their last fortnight's been spectacular. The way they ran over Port Adelaide and then beating Sydney up in Sydney. But you've got to have a much smaller gap between your good weeks and your bad weeks.
Yeah. So we've got Patch Adams, as you called it. You have called it. He's back on the field. He's allowed to come back in.
Patched up Adams.
Yeah.
Gee, no forward leading at him. Nobody.
McDonald. So he kicks into the space and hopes that someone can run onto it.
Not to anybody's advantage.
Lindsay tracks this one here.
Tuvi to Pendlebury to Lumumba. Along the line. Goldstein. And
that's they hit the boundary.
Yes, it does, but that doesn't matter. That's part of the rules. It's still a correct call.
This could hurt.
Young, just the man to hurt them with a big long kick, but again, too much for him.
Where's the change of direction and run out of defence? It's just not coming.
Well, Grimer's there now. Now he's got to go over the top quickly. Right, they're away. This needs to get into the hands of someone with foot pace. Hanson's not the man going to supply that.
Oh, look at the turnover.
To Mullet.
It must be frustrating for Brad Scott to watch this.
Elliott back to side bottom again. He gives it plenty. Jesse White, they both went to ground on the ball out of bounds.
Let's have a look at that. That's the rule. If the umpire's there and it hits him and stops it going out,
it's
still the same. Yeah, I know, but that's the call. If it comes back into play, he's part of the furniture.
I'm glad no score came of it.
And Greenwood's now gone on to Pendlebury. Gibson, kick goes out to the wing. Frost pacing after it with Black. Keith decided not to grab the ball. Adams came back to Frost, and now Lumumba, and they continue to win all the crucial battles, the Pies. Deep probing ball, lots of one-on-ones. Hanson was the extra when it mattered, got a fist to it. Now Thompson with his facing goal, there's pressure on every handball here. Atlee's turned it over, the Pies are lining up. Beams will have the shot, his kick was smothered, and Ferrito able to squeeze the handball through, and they might be able to get out of trouble here, North Melbourne.
Now they've got some run, got to go quick.
And Wells down the line to Petrie. He's put it right out in front of him.
He's run hard.
It's the next kick that's the issue.
Well
Gibson's done well. He's powered on and can kick it deep. No big tall targets again for North. In the pocket, Thomas comes out. Young Langdon had Tuvey in support.
Gee, no second effort from Lindsay Thomas after the initial ball missed him.
It's half a first effort, mate.
Yeah, Swan just gobbled it up. He knew he was going to get it back. As they stretch out across half-back, Beams, Grundy, had no one to give it to by hand, so sets a bit of a task for Jesse White. North have got the extra number in front of him, he kicks it quickly, so he handballs to Swan, who charges through the 50 and sets it up for the leap of Jamie Elliott, who takes the mark on the end of it all.
Loose players everywhere calling for it.
Josh Thomas, his lookalike, streaming for it.
Yeah, Blair in space as well.
I don't think he really wants to pass off at the moment.
Disappointing work rate from North Melbourne. Collingwood are giving him a lesson in how to run and create.
2 goals last week, hasn't kicked a goal so far today, Jamie Elliott, but's played his part. 13 disposals, kicked 47 goals in 40 matches.
Probably wishes he passed it now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing you'd say at the start of this third quarter. Collingwood haven't been able to advance the scoreboard. Everywhere else, the dominance has continued. The inside 50 count then, 39-17.
17.
Yeah.
Not going to win many games of football with those numbers.
No, well, what you're aiming for is 14 a quarter.
Del Santo took something off it for Black to be able to fly, but it's going to come back towards him via Elliott, in towards full forward. Goldsack.
Superb kick. You couldn't ask for a better squared up ball than that. Out in front for the short lead from the forward. This should be the first goal of the third term.
Tyson Goldsack.
It's 9 inside 50s to 1 in this third term.
Contested possession, 9-13.
And Goldsack finally for some reward for the Pies. No. They're feeling very charitable at the moment.
He kicked the sack. That's the only thing they're not doing is putting North away on the scoreboard. I mean, it's one-way traffic. It's really one-sided at the moment. We'd like to see a glimmer of hope that North can force their way back in the contest, but gee, it's hard to see it coming.
So there's so much space in this zone, yet they're finding it difficult to pinch the kick and get someone. Leads to the boundary. Now this locks them up. Really, he should be looking inside again now, and they should be circulating and constantly moving the Kangaroos. Grimer peels away to the left now.
It's like they're all resigned to the kick up the line.
Harvey showed some initiative. Takes the mark from the little short stuff.
Yeah, but now you really need to go sideways here.
Yeah.
Because they're all down the line.
Now, open the
you see,
ground up.
Harvey should run across now. He should just run straight across the back there and just get the dinky little easy receive, because the way they've been going, Collingwood have picked this off.
And he tries to muscle it in again. Well done, Curry, to hold his ground. Brought it to the front. Bastanak.
Kicked off.
Del Santo run ahead of play there to try and give them something if they wanted around the contest. They didn't. They have been able to recapture the footy back along defence. Grimer, ordinary kick.
You don't want him kicking the ball. Today more so than ever. I just looked at it and I thought he's got to be a handball 9 times out of 10 type player.
Tuvey, eyes scanning, looking for something short. Found it with Fasolo. And then through the middle. They line up, not a good kick. Well read that time.
That's 50. That should have been 50 because Swan grabbed him after he marked it and he wasn't in the marking contest.
Del Santo might have to feed it backwards or sideways.
This is indicative of the lack of running creativity ahead of the play. No one's working hard enough for North Melbourne.
And again,
it's almost the opposite performance that they put in last week up in Sydney. They were impressive. Very unimpressive today.
Very labour-intensive build-up again, Black, and they still aren't within striking range. They might be in a moment, though. Comes back to Atley. He kicks it into the pocket, and Lindsay Thomas got away, and he takes the mark, but very low percentage opportunity for goal here.
Well, at least it's an opportunity where they hit a few targets in the build-up, Hutto, and that's something they've been unable to do for most of the day.
And they can be in front for the quarter, Jace, if he kicks accurately here.
We're looking for positives, aren't we?
9-2, the inside 50s for the quarter, but only 2 behinds on the scoreboard for Collingwood. So Lindsay Thomas, a couple of deep breaths there.
It's against the run of play. It's been comprehensive, Collingwood's performance today.
The margin stands at 35 as Lindsay Thomas stands at 50. Improves the angle, goes back, can't get it to come around. In fact, he hasn't even scored.
Missed everything.
Not on the full.
I often think this is a time where you should maybe experiment. Just try something with the forward line. See a Daniel Wells or a Brent Harvey coming out of genuine full forward. Even Nick Del Santo, who's been tagged out of any influence in this game. His numbers are probably okay, but have a look at these midfielders at full forward rather than at all in Curry.
Side bottom, maybe a slightly rash kick. Petrie, he's able to just flip the momentum switch going back the other way.
There's got to be some loose targets now with all the Collingwood players that were running in support there. There's got to be numbers going the other way.
Ferrito, can he bring it back into the middle with any purpose? Sets the challenge, about 30 out for Curry. Misjudged it. Frost didn't.
He's worked him under the ball beautifully, Frost, didn't he?
This is the best game I've seen Frost play, and he's been building to this sort of standard over the last 3 weeks.
And on the way out, and finds Dane Beams.
She's only had the one blemish, Frosty, when he took the ball back into the middle of the ground in the first quarter and got turned over. Other than that, he's been flawless. He might have that tackle looked at, even though it was perfectly legitimate. It did get young Mackenzie in the head. That ain't great.
An opportunity for Gibson was created. Adams is there for the short one.
Missed target again. I mean, if Gibson hits that target, he's having a shot for goal, and they just haven't been able to hit targets by foot.
It's not the ideal ball when you've got shoulders that are just barely hanging in there as well.
David King, a 2-time premiership player with North Melbourne this afternoon.
He was only looking at it with one eye.
Down on the boundary, would have to be very disappointed in the performance of his old club, but equally just admiring the way the Pies have gone about it, Kingy.
The Pies have been fantastic. Their pressure, I think, is a season high for them, but their forward line's working. That's the one thing, Hutto. Their key targets are on top. They weren't last week. It was their midfielders, as Derm said earlier, or Jay said earlier, that provide all the scoring power, but today it's a totally different look.
Smart play that by side bottom. He knocked it through for behind, knowing they
Look at Dane Swan down the middle.
Get the footy.
He's off.
Still on the march, Dane Swan, and the Pies are away into the middle of the ground. Elliott back for his lookalike Thomas. Marks just forward to the centre. Lumumba comes flying through off the left. Angles it up for Clogie, and 1.5 metres on Thompson. And he didn't even need that much. He swallowed the mark about 25 to 38.
Well, what they did have was the midfield through the middle of the ground. Time to look at the forwards and see who's creating the most space and kick to the advantage of the contest. And it was just a chip into space. A really good kick from Lumumba. That's where you want it as a forward. You can see the big lateral lead, that they kept separation, so plenty of space.
Travis Cloak for number 5, and the Collingwood fans will be up on their feet, but they have to stay down. Still, they cannot put them away in this third term. And if North can get their act together, they can, at least on the scoreboard, get back into the game.
Player off the bench, Mullet, all on his own.
Travis has slipped into the 4-4 territory again, operating at 50%, but he's winning the ball.
High fend off from Cunnington, not spotted by the umpire. Beams was left in his wake. Mullet driving it into the middle. Black. Thomas couldn't quite gobble it up. Pendlebury was able to gobble him up, though, with a brilliant tackle. Black caught, improvised pretty well. Cunnington Interesting that he'd hold onto the ball. He's in so much congestion there, and there was no way out.
We pull back. See Lindsay there at the top of the screen? That's where he was tackled. He stood there for 15 seconds.
They can't just bang on the boot, North, because there's 2 or 3 Collingwood players sitting behind the footy.
Wells sharing it with Atley. Can he create something by taking them laterally?
He's got no target.
Ferrito tried to measure in between, and he got it!
Wow.
The measurement's absolutely precise.
It's a great kick and a great mark, because he had to mark over the loose that was in front of him and in front of his opponent. It's a terrific kick from Ferrito. Now, we saw
the kick was soft enough that he was able to read the jump over the top of him.
We saw him miss one from here. First turn. Kick missed to the right.
9 disposals today, 6 marks. He needs to kick the goal, but it's just been a horror day for North Melbourne.
And this is what North have allowed too much. The quick cross in the back line that gives them an easy out the other side. I mean, this is bruise-free football to get the ball forward of the wing. Well, there we go. There's a little bit of a bruise. Well done, Spud. Young's holding the jaw. We'll get another look at that. He might have...
Surely that's a free kick, Jason.
Well, I'd like to have another look at it because he's holding the jaw, no eyes on the footy. Just crash the arms. You can't do that. You've got to give a free kick for that.
Cunnington. Oh, red hot there. Good tackling, though, from Josh Thomas. And he had numbers running up from behind. Side bottom, having a day out. Long kick, Grundy in his sights this time. Hanson.
There's a distinct lack of accountability through the middle of the ground. The way that Collingwood players have run and spread, they've been on their own.
Before side bottom ran past, Adams was standing next to him 15 metres behind play. Just allowed him to run past for the easy reception.
Might have seen him do.
Petrie bad eye. Was the beacon for him on the wing. Thomas. Adams. Elliott. Creating havoc for them there. Elliott goes again. Side bottom back for Keith.
They got numbers in support though.
Stay in.
And Bastonak did well. Takes it over the line.
I think it's been really impressive, Collingwood's work rate. Every time there's been a ball up for grabs, they've been able to outnumber their opponents. Not too many headaches for that man there.
And from the throw in,
Grimer's the extra one back.
McCaffer. Cloak got the read on the drop. Couldn't take the mark. Swan. Can he break the deadlock? He can by helping at the side bottom and then to Goldsack. Way too easy for the Pies. They're strolling away at the moment.
Well, the story for me is North Melbourne's forward line and in part that man there. They've just allowed the ball. Now watch this for Solo. He's got the reader. He's got to take him to ground. He doesn't. And Fasolo follows up with an easy kick. Now what's you call this one, Jason? Lindsay misses the first one.
His man goes back and gets it.
Gets it and runs out. And Lindsay stays there. I mean, this kid is so talented, but there are times you have to... You've got to compliment. You've got to assist your players up the ground as a forward and put some pressure on there. Lindsay Thomas has all the talent in the world. But sometimes you have to be a good player when you don't have the ball as well.
But that desire to work hard hasn't been there in all parts of the ground. And we just saw that in their defensive 50 then. Collingwood strolled in when North Melbourne had extra numbers.
Cunnington trying to lift his team, but the rush kick into the 50 is going to be rushed out by Lumumba. With the dash that is customary from him. And he finds big wits at half-back. Kicks to the wing and Beams able to outpoint Harvey. His 16th disposal sends Clinton Young wide.
Yeah, well done. It's Cunnington, just blocks his left foot because he wanted to come back into the middle, so he holds him up.
Now he releases. Cloak, the early nudge. Oh, and he almost dragged it down. Grimer. Here's Jesse White. Filled the space. Got the handball to Goldsack. Came back to Cloak. And that's just to go with his 4 goals for. He's got
I love to see a man who's incapable of certain actions take him on. He's not the greatest snap on the run. That was never going to come back hard enough. So, but good on him for having a go.
Look at that kick out from Frito.
Yeah. He's got to get a goal for his team within 2 possessions here. He's a beautiful user of the footy.
Fasolo
kicks it short.
Grundy, White both had an opportunity. Scrounging for it was Elliott, feeding it out to Swan. He's got some space to work in. We'll relish that off the left. Doesn't quite get enough on it. Thompson will try and get it somehow to Del Santo.
Honestly, when North Melbourne review this game during the week, they'll be embarrassed by some of the performances they're seeing. Some of the weak efforts where they're just being dictated to by a team that wants to work hard, and they simply do not want to work hard.
15 men in defence, so they have to run this ball out there. If he gets it here, they've got to come past him. They've got to come past him now, because he's got 14 blokes defensive side of him now.
Just having a look, Derm, at the third quarter numbers alone, the turnover's well in favour of the Kangaroos by about 30%, and that's largely because of the tackle pressure of Collingwood. In this quarter, it's 15 tackles to 5. The Kangaroos have put on 5 tackles in almost 20 minutes of football.
Not good enough.
Down the line for Big Curry. Played the footy out in front of himself pretty well. Greenwood.
Great tackle.
Yeah, Dane Beams with the dedication and the desperation for the Pies.
And Kingy, just while we get a ball up here, tackles inside forward 50 for North Melbourne in this quarter, 1. Yeah, they just don't work at holding it in.
And that's where the Curry selections really hurt them today. It just hasn't worked. He hasn't been involved in the hit-outs and the clearances, and he's given them nothing as an option going forward.
2-on-1 again.
Yeah, Adams, that's all he could see was Collingwood jumpers. A bit of a fumble, could be costly. Just collapsed on top of him, Curry, which could have been to the advantage of his team. Took a couple down with him.
Well, good on him.
Yeah.
Be active, be involved, run around and get a free, give a free, do something and just make something happen by involving yourself and your body at the contest.
The old mantra to him, just do.
Oh, well, get active.
Side bottom.
Nutmegged him.
Comes back to Del Santo, shakes the tackle and gets clear and needs to kick the goal. And like so many others today, hasn't been able to. He's been able to shake some tackles today, Del Santo, but as Durham pointed out earlier, his kicking effectiveness has probably reflected the perceived pressure as much as the pressure that McCaffer's put on him. So effectively another victim for Brent McCaffer. It's not the tidiest bit of work today.
Well, another opportunity here. Looks like it's going to go to Aaron Black, not Del Santo. So a right footer from that pocket, more chance than a left footer, you'd think.
I always thought that this is the most sheltered pocket at the MCG. So if you kick here, this is almost a true kick at the goal with very little slant or any bias according to the wing.
Well, it's been a quarter where goals have been...
Can't buy one, North Melbourne.
Well, just one goal kick for the whole quarter by Collingwood, 1 goal 3 and 3 behinds by the Roos. They're going to make their sub now finally, North Melbourne, for good.
It's always a nervous moment when you make your way to the bench and you see Rance Williams there with the red vest ready for you.
It's got to be a big bloke, doesn't it? And you would think the young lad Curry, who took a good grab over the back when the ball was coming out, took that up around the wing. Hopefully he keeps a bit more of a shot at it, but I just don't think they've got enough mobility at the moment, and especially in the forward line, it's hitting the deck and there's statues trying to chase it out.
Who's heading back to the goal square?
He's staying as far away from the bench as possible, Jason. Throw into Witts, Goldstein gets it down, Gibson, Greenwood, Del Santo there, but Cunnington caught. He's continued to really work hard.
There he is. Unlucky, but again, look at the Collingwood numbers there, and there's no support at ground level for North Melbourne.
Young goes on.
Beams gave it back to Young.
Time to fumble, recover, and look who's doing the running.
And they are gone. Through the middle, flying, Lumumba. And won't quite get to Elliott.
Well done, Petrie. The oldest bloke in the forward line busted his gut to get to that. Didn't actually get the hand on, but implied the pressure, which forced the turnover.
Switch goes back Cunnington's way. Through the middle of the ground, this is Gibson. Curry is coming from the ground now for North, and Jacobs is on.
Yeah, he's got the red vest.
Gibson goes, clean bowled a lot. Adams out the back.
A little grubber kick.
He'll try it. The centering ball, Wells. Oh, got away from him.
Dan Curry actually had a surprised look on his face then when he was throwing the red vest.
He probably thought I'm fresh.
Not sure why.
Bad luck, son. He's got some talent.
He competed well a number of times, 1 against 2, and he didn't get great service either.
And they're on their way out again, the Pies. Side bottom. Clinton Young. He's been a real positive for the Pies in the last few weeks.
That's a win for the Magpies. 2-on-1 in the aerial contest. That's a good throw.
He's just about gone, Jesse White, but Dane Swan came to save the day for him. Back for Goldsack now. And McCaffer. And well read on the way back by McKenzie. Brad McKenzie takes the mark.
He's got to come in reverse.
Yeah,
he's got extra numbers. He's got a 4-on-2 inside defensive 50. Use it!
I don't know why he's not using
Use it!
Del Santo will.
And go further. And now they can come right out the other side.
Well, they've got just under a minute to try and work this from one end of the ground to the other. And decide to handball back to Jacobs. And then feed it back again to Atley, who kicks to the wing. Some hard running needed, and skills out in front of the body provided by Greenwood. He glances into the middle. He's got some run. He's got to use it. Gibson, he'd run too far by the time the ball arrived.
He telegraphed it.
Yeah. So it's Maxwell's footy. And Collingwood are quite happy to just see out the rest of this quarter. They've won the quarter, albeit in strange.
Just the one goal of the quarter. 1 goal to nothing this quarter.
Can only get better in the last term, Jace, because this quarter...
Well, not necessarily.
Damn it. It can only get better in the last quarter.
It's 1 goal, 3 to 4 behinds.
Tuvey got crunched and he's kicked it down to the bench.
Well, now the winning team's kicking him out on the full. What are you sure you want to revisit that statement again?
It can only get better in the last quarter, Dern, because this one, just 1 goal kicked.
Take nothing away from the Pies.
No,
I reckon
exactly.
It's been an impressive effort.
They're going to knock over a
They've-
lot of teams today.
Yep.
Atley drives to half forward. Here's Thomas, seconds, heading away from him. And unfortunately for North Melbourne, it's been that kind of day. And Collingwood's dominance continues. 38 points. They haven't put them away. That's the only thing that gives North Melbourne a glimmer of hope going into the final term.
And wonderful with the ball in hand. He, even at this stage of his career, he's got to get better at making sure the opposition don't get an easy take.
They've had 40 more possessions, Collingwood, and 20 more tackles. That's just poor work rate by North.
And 20 more inside 50s as we begin the last quarter from the MCG.
Ferrito, loose man in defence for the Roos.
Adams had a swing and a miss. Fasolo sends it out to the members' wing.
Now, he's got to come up Ferrito now, and that's got to get fed back to him rather than go into the traffic and be really hot. They've done it well here. Well, they almost did.
That's where it ended with Beams. Well done, Hansen. His second effort was good.
There he
to
is.
Harvey and Ferrito and Adams as they flick it around the Roos. He's on the back foot and having to dig deep. Aaron McKenzie just to get it out. And now it comes back to Harvey. Outnumbered Petrie, but he's strong enough in the contest to take the mark.
Open goal square.
He's just lofted it up and it might just about bounce. Bounces away from Maxwell. Thomas. And he gets just squashed.
See,
great tackle and the ball out of bounds.
on the inward fly then, Atley was coming down the other half-forward flank. He needed to actually bust his gut to get to the far side of the ground there. Petrie didn't really see him at the time of release either.
Jacobs was in a good position but had been able to get into the North hands. Instead, it's with Beams. Hansen, steadfast, takes the mark. That's what we've seen so much of in reverse today. And Harvey's able to pinpoint into the 50. It's one of the few times we've seen North be able to take the outward ball and bring it back in.
Well, he's looking at everyone. Sam Gibson didn't want to kick it himself.
Well, we saw him kick a goal from here, didn't we, before?
Yeah, we did.
On the sort of on the run.
He needs to kick this one.
He had the little wraparound. He kicked it from about 50 and a half metres out.
Martin stands at 38. It's going to go right to the line and not make it this time. Maxwell fending it through.
Now, can they put some pressure in their attacking 50 here in North Melbourne and hold the ball in?
Well, see, the difference is Collingwood out to the left-hand side of the screen are holding players out there already. Maxwell makes a break, thinking they'll move. Well done by North. They shut it off for literally the first time today.
Lumumba, there's Witts. Can't grab it. Goldstein. Ready for it was Thomas. And there's rude jumpers everywhere.
Good reflexes.
Let's see what they can make of this. Gibson.
Got a look.
Well done, Cunnington, and then Adams. But for Solo, they're ready to pounce. Feeding it back to Tuvey. Cunnington again, a thorn on his side. Trying to get it out to Del Santo. Smart play. It wasn't a bad kick under the circumstances. Thomas to make something of it for North Melbourne. Hesitates And finally, he saw something he liked.
Well, I thought he was lining up a banana there for one horrible moment, but he was just buying time for the space to open up and then chipped it to Basnak, who should go back and kick the goal.
I was worried about his welfare as far as you guys were concerned.
Well, look, it hasn't been a great day for Lindsay Thomas, but when you see what he's capable of, and he can do things like that, even though he has kicked a couple of goals.
He's the only multiple goal kicker for North Melbourne, and he hasn't had a good day.
So here's Bastanak. Took an early opportunity for a goal and gets one to start the final quarter. They're back within 31 points somehow, North Melbourne.
Well, it's what they needed, isn't it? I mean, they needed the first goal of this quarter to give themselves some hope. If they can somehow click and find a bit of their best footy and get on a roll, you never know what might happen in this game. I mean, 30 points isn't a huge margin. Not in today's game. But the way they've played and the way they've scored today, it is a massive one.
Well, the good thing was Petrie took a big, powerful mark at centre-half forward in the last few minutes. So if he gets a bit of separation now, fatigue has come into the game, and it gets that longer drive down to a one-on-one against his direct opponent. He's a half show to be that important link man.
Well, this game should have been over a long time ago, but the door just remains ajar for North Melbourne. And maybe they can take that little opportunity and put some pressure on. Jacobs got them going to half forward. And for the first time for today, they've got some spirit going in that direction. Harvey to Petrie, almost. Black couldn't get the scoop up onto the boot. Surrounded by Pies.
Had to keep his feet going to ground. You're out of the contest.
Beams rushed it out to half-back. Blair, can he capture it or be captured? He's got the footy himself. Mullet was closing. Pendlebury, the up, the under. But it's all for Rito. He lost it at high enough to try and give White an opportunity to get there, but he couldn't quite. Jacobs runs the angles. Oh, he just went straight into trouble.
Hospital hand pass.
Blair, that was a good tackle on Blair. Greenwood knows it only one way. Beams getting amongst it in the last quarter. Lumumba to half forward again. Ferrito, Grimer, Jesse White. Josh Thomas is there for the Pies. Skillfully picks it up. He knew where to give it. Over the top to the voice of Dane Swan. Into the middle for Blair. Will he keep on going? No.
Josh Thomas knew his teammate Dane Swan was there. He had a look before he won the ball, and then as soon as he knew he secured the ball, he could give it over the top, and it was always going to Dane Swan. That's knowledge, and that's a real good perception of what is going on around him. He hasn't even looked, but he knew.
Good hand.
Yeah, well, he knew he was going to be there.
Impressive young player is Josh Thomas. And Jared Blair now experienced enough to go back and coolly and calmly slot the goal, but just haven't been able to do that today, the Pies.
Steady, coolly and calmly slotted the point.
Luke Ball's ready to get out there.
He'd be itching to go. He would have been hoping that at some stage late in the third term they would have pulled the trigger, but he'll get his opportunity shortly.
Luke Ball is that much of a competitor. He would have been hoping for a short-term injury to one of his teammates early on.
He's coming back again. He goes to Clinton Young. So Young too far out to score himself. Cloak holding off.
That's a good kick.
Engages now. Tries to get to the front. Hanson at the back. Oh, Elliott just about stole the march.
He's still alive.
It is. Dane Swan will rip it out of there. Innovative handball. Mullet. Pendlebury.
It's a let off for Lockie Hanson. It hasn't gone out.
No,
the ball hasn't gone out.
He's going to be pinged now.
Lockie Hanson fell over when he should have rushed the ball through.
Yeah.
It's just the easy option.
It was a little bit NRL-ish, wasn't it? He didn't want to drag him over the line in the tackle. He knew he had him, so he kept hauling him back into the field of play.
Could have gone back to side bottom if he wanted.
Is that 5 metres?
Scouting around for options in the end. He took it on himself and had the shot and misses.
If that was Stevie J, he'd have put the ball down and paced out the 5 metres.
Yeah.
So there's the sub. Kingy looks like Jared Witts.
Yeah, it is, Hutto. The big man for the small runner in Luke Ball coming onto the ground. Look at him go. He's around about 500 metres already, Luke Ball. He wants that first possession.
Del Santo and Petrie now starting to clunk them. Over to Greenwood on the way out for the Roos. He had nothing on this side.
Killed him.
It wasn't a great kick. Here is Luke Ball. Decides not to take possession. Does the team thing, and that's been the Magpie mantra today.
Swan breaks the 30 mark for possessions.
Well, they had an opportunity, North, but, I mean, Greenwood's kick had to hit the target, and they haven't been able to do that. all day.
Just given a little luxury.
Now that is ordinary. Swanee.
He's turned it over.
Well, that's well done by...
Got a handball again.
Yeah, McKenzie does to Jacobs. He's told, oh, he fell over. He was told to go short. Well, it's back on Collingwood's terms again now. Pendlebury.
I mean, that's just a turnover out of nothing.
Blair calling for it. Blair, he can't see him over the players in his road. He was screaming for it forever. And eventually he saw him, Lamumba, but so did Petrie.
He's very kind to him, Drew.
There's a careful kick. It's a good kick to McCaffer from Blair. He can go over the top. Side bottom can handball to... Oh, he could have handballed to Clope, but Clope, I think, actually told him not to.
He did.
What sort of full forward is he, James?
The right one. Don't waste it.
He took a couple of paces just forward so that the man in between was a little bit close, so he couldn't give it up.
So Steele side bottom to take the margin back out to 39 points. And he too hasn't made the contact he was after. They've missed some absolute sodas in front of goal Collingwood today. This will give something for the take for Nathan Bucker to work with, because a lot of their work today has been absolutely superb. But not their finishing. Ferrito. Petrie in a standoff with Keith. Ball flips out Josh Thomas's way. Here's Keith again. Kept them guessing. He's got a few tricks, the big fella. Elliott takes the mark over Adams.
He really is good overhead for by league standards, AFL standards, a very small player.
A tough day for Lee Adams. He got that what looked to be a pretty severe poke in the eye earlier on. Just the 11 possessions for him, unable to hit the scoreboard. And just outmarked by Elliott on that occasion.
So Elliott comes in. He's yet to hit the scoreboard, but now he's put one through. Finally, a Magpie goal in this last quarter.
Well, Jose, I'll throw it to you while we look at Jamie Elliott here. Keefe follows up beautifully. I'll put it to you. What's this little deft display of sold the cheese? I'll put it to you. Kangaroos. Are we off them now? Are you off them now? Where are they at? They've really impressed against two middle run to higher side of middle run type opponents after a shellacking in week one. Where have you got them?
Well, I probably, like a lot of other people, I've got my doubts now, but they are the best at putting doubts in your mind, North Melbourne, because we were speaking earlier about the gap between their best and their worst, and this has certainly been one of their weakest or meekest performances.
Goldstein.
I just keep coming back to the numbers around the contest. The time Collingwood have got more numbers there, and they've been able to take it away just by working harder.
Remember, Blair got away. Close quarters, Goldsack on the overflow. Elliott spears it into Jesse White. He was prominent early, hasn't had to do a lot since then, big Jesse.
So you've got Hanson and Grimer trying to double team Cloak.
He goes long, gives Cloak a bit of a run at it. There's a lot of timber to try and get over. At the back, Cunnington, ball. Had him in the sights there. Margin creeps out to 41 now.
The biggest problem for the Kangaroos now is we've seen two of these performances in 5 weeks. The round one against Essendon was a disaster, and this is not faring much better. You just don't know which Kangaroos are going to turn up at the moment.
Yep.
Their best is fantastic, as you said, Jace, but the gap between their best and the rest is too large.
Well done by Lindsay Thomas, and that's hard work. Good boy.
And gets it into Petrie. No free kick. Maxwell, well done, Keith. Flips it out to Fasolo now. And they're away, the Pies. Frost kicks. Bit of a challenging ball for Thomas to try and track down, but he did. Shows some great evasive skills as well, the Queenslander. Kicks it to the wing. Ferrito versus Elliott. Elliott tries to rough him up a bit. Ferrito got out of there nicely. Into Grimer. Works it back through the middle. Cunnington. Short to Jacobs, and now Adams. And back to Jacobs again.
Oh, it's got to be low and flat.
Who's the kick to?
That's the worst kick of the day. Oh, God, I feel for Drew Petrie. He had his man cooked. It was a 20-metre dab kick out in front, and he kicks a sky ball at 40 metres. Oh, I feel for Drew Petrie on that one.
What about the bloke in the box? I reckon he'd be tearing his hair out too, wouldn't he, in the coach's box? You don't coach things like that.
Oh, you can't coach somebody to kick that bad, even if he's a plant.
It's a weak ball. Got some encouragement from the Collingwood fans as he kicks it in towards half forward. Here's Goldsack, got the hands free, beams. Stand start from McCaffer. The lead from Pendlebury. It's thumped out of there. Here's ball again. Couldn't quite withstand the tackling pressure. The fumble's still evident for North Melbourne. Jacobs, another big blind launch. Up to half forward. Tough one for Young in the end. Had good support from teammates around him, Langdon.
But again, the option from Ben Jacobs, he must have known. They had 3 or 4 running as a group through the middle of the ground. He had to try and somehow link back up with a handball, but he's just quickly kicked it to where the Collingwood numbers were.
Well, the first person who occupies your viewfinder, who fills up your screen, if he's done his man, you give it to him. Like that.
Worked that so well. Goldsack. Fasolo's been able to sneak into the 50. Can't help himself. He's dropped it.
Too easy.
That gives him a chance.
Back to Goldsack.
Oh, they're queuing up.
And try again. Elliott.
That could be back to the line. Wasn't in the contest, and it was a two-handed shove. 10 years ago, that is what we would say, oh, you made him earn it. Now that's a 50.
Didn't look to be a lot in it, did it?
No, there wasn't, but it was an easy pick.
It's certainly an easy kick.
Now watch, he's not in the contest. 2 flat hands, see? 2 flat hands, he pushes him forward. It's soft. It's not hard. We can live with it as a forward. You don't expect to get the 50 for that.
He didn't expect it. He was pointing to where the mark was.
No, he didn't. But if you go by the rules of the book, that's 50.
And that's a goal. It's Collingwood's 13th goal. 47 points between these two sides. It's a big gap. And there's a huge margin between these two sides from what we've seen today.
Well, there is. I mean, we were going to get stories to come out of today. Whichever way the result went, we were going to say, well, one's really starting to look good, and the other, maybe the queries are still there, and certainly the queries are still there over North. But for Collingwood, you know, they've had a couple of tough losses. Quality opponents they've played, Geelong and Fremantle, so there's no disgrace in losing to them. They now get to 3-2, so they were very whilst they were uncompetitive against Freo, they were very competitive against Geelong, so they're showing that they're building.
Feel for Nathan Grimer. He's seen the ball come in there 53 times already. Turnover scores 9, 12, 66. So they've had 21 shots at goal from turnovers, the Magpies. That's what they've gained from the North Melbourne turnovers.
He's feeding the ball around. He looks so composed and sure of himself back there, is Langdon.
And you wonder what sort of impact that eye injury's had on Lee Adams, because he hasn't looked like getting near it, and I don't know who that kicks to, but you just really...
Lungs in the stand.
And as soon as Aaron Black kicked it, his hands went to his head, because then he realised that he was just going straight to nobody. Good tackle from Del Santo.
I mean, Del Santo's looking back saying, come on, mate.
Yeah, come on, Rebel here, haven't they? Well, Del Santo open-minded his game today. 19 possessions. He's had the hard tag, but he's only had, what's he operating at by foot? 31% out of 13 kicks. So he's only had 4 kicks that have hit the target. But he's stayed at the foot. He open-minded his game. He's really had a go.
Ferrito has a go that time, and the handball from Black, and as you can see, has been picked off by the Pies.
Look at the numbers now running.
Yeah, they're bullying their way through the middle. Josh Thomas out wide for Goldsack. Wasn't a great kick, but Goldsack had a run at it. He's outnumbered. He's earned himself a free, maybe a bit of a lucky one.
Gee, there wasn't much in it.
There's space for a lead here. Clokey's got a one-on-one, release it.
Instead, he goes for Elliott, who's the hot man at the moment. And then well done from Thompson to work the angles.
Chase, I think the Pies' biggest win today is Alex Fasolo. 30 disposals now. That's a PB for his career. At half-back, he's looked lively. He's given them some really good overlap run. They haven't had that player with such class for some time.
No, we spoke about it at half-time, Kingy. It's interesting. You try to get some creative players at half-back that can give you a run, that can use the footy well. And he certainly fits the bill there, doesn't it? And now we're seeing him really... when he gets the opportunity, push forward, try and kick a goal. The only thing we haven't seen him had to do I mean, it's probably been made a little easier. He hasn't had to defend much today.
I was about to say that. Last week he had experienced Sam Lloyd in his first game. And although Fasolo still got the ball a fair bit, Lloyd did pretty well attacking. So he's going to have to learn to defend. And that's the way league footy is now. If you're a backman who can kick the footy, you're going to get a game. You have to be able to defend when it's your turn, though.
If he keeps getting 30, Derm, they may have to defend him.
Well, some teams do that for certain players.
McKenzie played on, and the umpire actually called it. Dane Swan was a little uncertain about the situation. Lucky that Bastian had just come off the bench.
Very lucky. That was another poor kick.
Oh, look at that. Straight at the man. Hard stuff from Jesse White. Putting the Rouge onto the back foot again. That's better delivery into half forward to Adams. Now Lindsay Thomas leads across. He goes wider than that. Almost the mark to McDonald. Grimer hasn't had a great day in defence.
Pretty miserable kick when you don't even make the distance. No commitment to the shot there from Nathan Grimer.
Let's have a look at the Magpies next four. Essendon here. Carlton, same.
I mean, the Anzac clash is always a massive one, but you'd expect them to win at least two of those three, if not all three, Dirt.
Next Friday for the Anzac clash, and then Adelaide at Adelaide Oval.
So say they win two of those next three. They're 3-2 after today, so that takes them to 5-3. That's not bad, given they played a lot of the good sides.
You're not at the true halfway mark, and you're in the plus column.
McDonald. Young gets back. It's not dead yet.
It's a goal.
And I reckon that's a goal.
Off the shin.
Greenwood puts it through.
One of the few times the long bomb to the goal scorer's worked today.
The margin back to 40 points.
Clinton Young is literally the loose man in defence here, and they want him as the outward player. When Collingwood secure the ball, give it to him and use his run and his penetration. Third man up, it's not his go. Yeah. He done for 2 fists on it. Third man up, he doesn't get enough on the footy.
Only got a little bit of foot on it, but it was enough to steer it through, Greenwood.
A snick will do from there.
You talked about Nick D'Alessandro being tagged. Do you think other teams will tag him now? This will be the first time this year he's been tagged. He's had 20, as Derm said, hasn't had the effect by foot.
It's hurt them that. Well, gee, no one else has been able to really pinpoint the ball. He is a very good user of the footy, but with the sweating on technique of McCaffer, they haven't had his skills.
All those possessions were North Melbourne's until Collingwood were able to make the steal.
It was continued pressure driving them backwards, wasn't it?
Brilliant stuff. Now he misses, and now we have a look at North's next three, effectively, isn't it, with the bye in round 8?
Should win 2 of the 3.
Tell you what, if they win the first one, we'll reverse our feeling on them again.
Again, they're just as likely to go over there and play well.
Margin is 41.
Going to have to get some more supply on their forward line. I mean, to be stuck on 35 inside 50s for the day is incredibly low.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd pin him there. I mean, it's a young fella that's been totally consumed by Brodie Grundy, who's twice his size, and he's saying you're not making a genuine attempt. Sometimes wonder if the umpires understand what you can actually do when you're a smaller player tackled by a larger player.
And here's Del Santo wandering out of defence. Kept it in his team's hands. Bastanak with some orders attached to it, to McDonald, to Goldstein, to Wells.
Slow, isn't it?
Now Petrie has to be the target when this ball is released by foot.
Loopy handballs, putting each other under pressure.
Harvey was going to give to the voice, but there was actually no one there, so he ran a full 360. Kicks it inside 50, can't be a mark. Swan had the first touch on it. Jacobs loading up, and that's his best strike of the day, but it hits the post.
It's kicking at 25%.
It's been a regular save for North.
Just needs a bit more composure with the footy.
To the side bottom, walking the tightrope along the boundary line. Sting's gone out of it a bit now. I'm sure Nathan Buckley, after last week when they had a poor last quarter, would really like to finish this off strongly with another couple of goals, at least one more.
Well, they started so well, they set it up early, and they really haven't let North back into the contest at any stage.
Now, it's really been more about their finishing, isn't it, in terms of not having a bigger...
And you know what? That's not a bad problem to have. When you dominate a game and you say, well, the only thing we didn't do was finish off properly, It's not the worst problem to have in the organisation.
I don't look in any hurry to score a goal here. Maybe just a tease. Swan just racking up the numbers. His 34th disposal coming up.
He's made himself his own captain in one of the fantasy teams.
Goes short to Elliott. He had to try the spectacular. Harvey was able to escape. Surge forward, have a crack, and kick a goal.
All right, well, they've got the goal there. Oh, but Jason and I have been, well, we've honed in on Lindsay Thomas all day. This is back a few minutes ago.
Don't rope me in.
This is what, oh, you were into it. This is what I want him to do more of.
Good
Take
shepherd.
him down, a
Good
ripping shepherd.
Yeah.
Now, that's what your teammates love. That is fantastic. And you know what? He's involved in the game. He hasn't touched the footy involved in the game. That was a few minutes ago. So we need more of that and less of the idle. I didn't get it first time. I'll rock back onto the heels. Hopefully my teammates will work hard enough to get it and give it back to me.
Tell me this, Dermot, just watching that shepherd again, is there a risk when you shepherd like that? Why not just run across him with the arms and hold him off rather than bump, because you're edging ever so close to head-high contact?
He got him on the body.
Well, he did, but there was still... Do you see how close it was to hitting him in the head?
Yeah, well, he's a
Do you understand what I mean?
He's a little bloke.
Do you change the way you shepherd now and go back to the old-fashioned arms across?
You do, but I still reckon you've got to weigh up that risk and take that. Otherwise, you can be labelled a soft team if you don't run in and crash that body.
Well, they've been running all day, the Pies.
Good take.
And they're still doing it, not just on the offence, but getting back with their defending as well. Cloak to Grundy. We know he can power through for a big man. Over to Goldsack. They share the same hairdresser. Long kick the full foot. Elliott! Oh, he just went a fraction early, but he still might be able to fight on and kick the goal. He's out of juice. He's out of juice, and the Roos will come away.
Yeah, Spud played that really well, Spud Ferreira. He took his knee jump, his knee lift away on the jump, so he wasn't able to jump all over him. He knew there was a poster book picture coming up.
Look at that missed target. That's horrendous.
Oh, look at
that's
that.
a horrendous missed target.
Nice manoeuvre from Fasolo.
And that's what happens on the swing side. I mean, there was Sam Gibson running out of defence. He's had a loose player, right option, and he just kicked it straight over his head.
Dane Swan.
59% is the kicking efficiency for North Melbourne today, and that's well below the competition average and well below any sort of number that's going to help you win a game of footy.
35th possession coming up. He's had just 9 contested possessions, but he's got plenty of the ball. He comes in and, well, tugs it hard left. Scratches the head. As we said, it's been a pretty dismal performance in front of the sticks by the Pies, but pretty much everything else they'd be delighted with. Thompson sends it out to the southern wing. Thomas.
Just got to get it forward. They've got loose players running forward, but didn't see him.
Well, Keith really fortunate not to be penalised there. I don't think he disposed of it properly at all. Grimer, he's caught in the crush. So down to the last 50 seconds. Underwhelming performance by North Melbourne, but Collingwood, well, they've been outstanding. Adams back to Gibson. Got something in reserve.
1 on 3, Boomer, must mark it.
Takes it. And he wind up.
He was going the barrel. He went the big barrel.
And he'll probably tell you he was passing to Cunnington and Thomas. Oh, Lindsay's out. No, he's up. He's in pain, though.
He's going to get up. You're not out. Get up.
Goldsack takes the mark.
He's certainly in pain now, Lindsay Thomas. Something to do with the left leg, is it?
Scrappy play. The ball's going to be in the hands of the skipper as the siren sounds. It sounds on a big win for Collingwood. It could have been bigger, but in the end they've triumphed and again sent a message to the competition that they are going to be right in this season, the Pies. Cloak back to something like his best with 4 big goals, a dominant first half from Travis, and the Magpies prevailing over North Melbourne. Let's have a look at this. Lindsay Thomas.
Just took his legs from under him. Not the way you want to end a game, but he's able to walk off. So that's a reasonably good sign, you would think. Good courage from Cunnington going with the flight of the ball.
His left knee got direct contact there.
Yeah, he's got to the left thigh.
And there he is. What a day of disappointment for North Melbourne. We're full of praise for Collingwood, but it's been hard not to have a lot of our commentary about North Melbourne.
Yeah, and I think that man would realise that it's back to the drawing board in a few areas. Just the level of consistency isn't there. There's a look of resignation on their face that what they saw isn't what they expected. Let's go down to David King.
Danny.